Self-belief is among the most powerful forces that can drive human achievement. To quiet the noise of the world and recognize the depth of one's own potential is to rise toward the highest peaks. Yet belief alone is not reality. It's a spark, not a flame. In a world obsessed with measurement and limits, it is in rare moments of defiance that boundaries are broken. A fighter stepping into the ring against a larger opponent embodies the truth that skill, will, and conviction can outweigh sheer size. And yet the champion reminds us of the order of things, that weight classes exist for a reason. Between these two truths lie the essence of self-belief, not blind faith, but the courage to test what others call impossible. Terence Crawford is the embodiment of the complete boxer, a master technician who can seamlessly adapt to any situation. He can control distance from the outside, sit comfortably in a pocket, fight effectively off his back foot, counter with precision, and willingly exchange when the moment demands. As a switch hitter, he is equally dangerous in both stances, blending offense and defense with fluid ease. What makes Crawford truly dangerous is his ability to read, adjust, and evolve within the fight itself. His ring IQ is unmatched. While others hesitate, Crawford instinctively knows when to press, when to break an opponent's rhythm, and when to seize control by any means necessary. Saul Canelo Álvarez, by contrast, is the methodic pressure counterpuncher. Built with the strength and durability of a tank, he presses forward behind a disciplined high guard, cutting off the ring with relentless patience. His presence alone is suffocating, but when he lets his hands go, his power thud with a force that wears down both body and spirit. Canelo doesn't waste movement or throw recklessly. Instead, he methodically closes distance, corrals opponents into corners before unloading, punishing combinations. By holding his ground in the pocket, he lures opponents into traps, countering with devastating precision. Equipped with an iron chin and unshakable composure, he forces opponents into suffocating war of attrition, where few can withstand the weight of his power and pressure. Boxing stances are often overlooked, yet they quietly dictate the rhythm and flow of a fight. Every detail matters, some more than others. Canelo's stance, more squared, favors hip rotation and naturally presets him for more explosive power punches, particularly hooks. Crawford, in contrast, adopts a more bladed stance, and a single choice sets the tone for the battle ahead.
Crawford not only has to jab.
As expected, Canelo pressed forward as the aggressor, while Crawford maneuvered with intent. The fundamental strategy was simple: keep Canelo stepping, never allowing him to plant his feet for too long. Since Canelo's style relies heavily on power, denying him balance and stability reduces the probability of the puncher being able to string together damaging combinations.
But that's what Crawford has to.
In an open stance matchup, the jab is more difficult to land, with the lead hand serving primarily as a setup for the rear. Yet Crawford's bladed stance aligned his lead shoulder perfectly, threading his jab directly through Canelo's squared guard with minimal obstacles. Combined with his movement, the long, sharp jab became a key weapon, holding Canelo at bay and disrupting his forward momentum.
That's a significant left hook from Crawford there a moment ago.
With a bladed stance, Bo was able to achieve full extension and maximize his reach. This allowed him to pump the jab effectively. The jab served several key purposes. It controlled the pacing of the fight and synced with his movement.
Imagine if he did come behind the jab. I think he's learned.
Created openings to set up combinations.
And in these moments right here, these last 30, 40 seconds, even though Crawford is...
And perhaps most importantly, trigger Canelo into committing at moments that weren't always in his favor.
Rio, because he gave the first to Crawford, which Crawford...
Balance just enough.
Listen for the bell.
Tonight it has been. Oh, beautiful body shot by.
However, the bladed stance also presented what appeared to be an opening, Crawford's body. This invited Canelo's signature left hook downstairs, a punch he often used to break down opponents. But Crawford, ever the technician, turned this into bait. Knowing Canelo had to step in deep to land with power, Crawford positioned himself to catch and counter each committed attack. Canelo's reliance on power over speed meant every body shot carried risk, placing him directly in Crawford's line of fire.
Goodness.
see exchange from both fighters. That left hook that Canelo's been landing, uppercut from.
Given the circumstances, with his non-existent lead jab, Canelo's most viable weapon became the left hook, which could loop around Crawford's lead hand interference. While he did find occasional success landing the hook, each attempt was met with sharp, disciplined counters from Crawford. These precise catch and counter responses steadily planted seeds of hesitation, instilling doubt in Canelo's approach, and over time stripping away one of the most dangerous offensive tools in an open stage matchup, the lead hook.
As Crawford's back was against the ropes.
While Canelo found moments of success to the body, Crawford was active with his jab and shooting punches down the middle, consistently tagging him upstairs.
On the one hand, if you're Crawford good, Canelo lose control.
And much of it came down to range management. Canelo, the plotting fighter, made little use of the lead hand, stripping himself of setups and reduced his offense to single, isolated shots. With the style so dependent on power, every punch thrown required full commitment. The problem was clear. When Canelo missed, he missed big. This dynamic became a turning point in a fight. Heavy committed punches take more time to recover from, forcing Canelo to follow through before following up. By the time his first shot was extended, Crawford was already answering with sharp combinations. Where Canelo relied on force, Crawford relied on speed and timing. The moment the first punch touched Canelo, the second was already on its way, an unbroken rhythm and precision that overwhelmed brute power.
Crawford is not looking to be friends.
Great exchange from Terence Crawford.
Ring intelligence was undoubtedly one of Crawford's greatest strengths. Even with Canelo pressing forward as the aggressor, it was Crawford who dictated the terms of engagement. Through disciplined movement and masterful range control, he decided when and where the exchanges would occur.
Resistance is effective. Thus far, Crawford has taken the big.
Crawford jumped on Canelo at the beginning of every round, landing bursts of punches early before shifting back into fluid movement. This rhythm placed the burden on Canelo for the rest of the round, forcing him to chase and commit more than he preferred. In these middle stretches, Crawford was able to cruise at sticking and moving, frustrating the forward aggression of Canelo. Then as the rounds drew on to a close, Crawford would unload bursts of offense, punctuating the action and leaving a lasting impression for the judges.
Right hand that has landed flush, very clean, and we've seen
Physicality and power were central narratives heading into the fight. Yet once Crawford took Canelo's best shots without faltering, the dynamic shifted dramatically. The puncher suddenly had little left to threaten the technician. From that point on, Crawford's versatility took over. He boxed effectively from the outside, managed range with order, countered effectively,
stood his ground and got his respect.
and even chose moments to sit in the pocket against the puncher.
I just think that Crawford is answering the bell whenever.
Wobble a little bit from one of those uppercuts.
Crawford's movement and range control neutralized one of Canelo's most important tools, the jab. With the lead hand largely taken away, Canelo was reduced to throwing single, power-driven punches. This stripped his offense of rhythm and variety, making his offense increasingly predictable and easier for Crawford to read and exploit.
There by Crawford. Nice left hand by Álvarez.
This fight was more than just a boxing match. It was a punctuated statement for boxing. It proved, in the clearest terms, that skill can overcome size. Crawford, who had only fought once at 154 pounds before leaping 2 weight divisions to challenge the undisputed champion at 168 pounds, shattered conventional boundaries. His victory redefines what's possible in a modern era and fundamentally shifts the dynamics of matchmaking. The message is undeniable. There are no more excuses. To achieve greatness and secure a lasting legacy, one must pursue the challenges that others avoid. Crawford has set the standard, showing that true champions are measured not only by titles, but by the risks they are willing to take. Even if he were to retire tomorrow, his place in boxing history is secured. Crawford has already carved out a legacy that positions him as one of, if not the greatest, boxer of his generation.